This episode is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Pizant Building Products. Pizant Building Products has been providing contractors and builders with the supplies necessary to complete their jobs since 1964. They have built a reputation of honest, helpful, and quality service, serving the HRM for the last 58 years, now with 7 locations in Nova Scotia and 1 in New Brunswick. Our team at Atlantic Construction Podcast is extremely excited to announce our new co-branded partner, Procore. Procore is the global leader in construction management software. We'll be conducting several podcast episodes with Procore users and construction companies across the country in 2023, among many other things. Stay tuned. We're excited. Welcome back to Atlantic Construction Podcast on site here at Canadian Concrete Expo. I'm here with Ali Halak from Procore Technologies. Ali, thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with us here. What's it mean for you personally and for the Procore team to be at an event like the Canadian Concrete Expo?
Well, first and foremost, it's good to have you here, and the Concrete Expo is just a fantastic place, I think, for a lot of our subcontractors and also general contractors involved with our concrete side of the industry to really kind of come in, really level set in terms of what's happening across the industry for trends, not just technology specific, but also perhaps trends in actual equipment, materials, best practices in process, etc. As somebody who works directly with our general contractor and subcontractors in concrete, I'm just having a great time here. A lot of really good like-minded professionals are here.
Absolutely.
It feels very tech forward, but it also feels very much like a great investment of Procore's time and even my time as well as a professional. As a young up-and-coming professional in construction.
Absolutely, and there's a great variety of different setups here, different types of companies, like you mentioned, general contractors, subcontractors, suppliers of manufacturing, suppliers of new tools, new technology. So yeah,
absolutely,
it's a great way to network and get a feel for what's happening in the industry and in the market here centrally. So
absolutely, it's I think an essential event for any concrete related professional here in the Canadian market.
And so this is a big thing for the Procore marketing team, constantly circling these events, touching base, kind of getting a feel, having an ear to the grindstone in what's happening and what's going on. Are there some events later this year that you're kind of looking forward to or that are going to be significant kind of milestones for the team of Procore?
Yeah, definitely. I would say right now there's a big push on from our marketing team here at Procore, specifically for the small to mid-sized business segment, to really start owning a lot of the different networking chapters that we're doing across the entire Canadian region for subcontractors, including concrete. If not concrete, it could also be anything electrical, HVAC, mechanical, plumbing, etc. So I think a lot of the audience could probably potentially look out for those. We're really looking to start developing our own basically in-house events around that.
Right.
To not just talk about solutions or products, but to talk about the trends in construction, to talk about what's going to move the needle forward for a lot of these businesses when it comes to really good processes, keeping your people happy and keeping your business efficient and afloat. While still being, net positive when it comes to profit and revenue.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time, Ali, and it's great chatting with you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Cheers. Okay, welcome back to the Atlantic Construction Podcast on site here at the Canadian Concrete Expo 2023 at the International Centre in Toronto. I'm here with fine gentleman Jason Kokolakis with OpenSpace. Jason, I want to ask what it means for you personally to be here at an event like this and just, what it means for OpenSpace. But first, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself. You're from Montreal. Fitness is a big thing in your life. I know we were lucky enough, our team, to have dinner with you and some of the other members of OpenSpace last night. Some great conversations just about some good habits for both work and personal life. So maybe just tell us a little about yourself. In the 60-second spiel, if you can.
Absolutely. And thank you, Dan, for having me on here. I think that opened up with GSP's speech yesterday. George St. Pierre, UFC champion, was here.
It was amazing,
and he spoke about mental resilience and mental fortitude, and his rise to being a champion and staying as a champion, and that led into a nice conversation over dinner and fitness and things like that, and which is where I started in sales. It was great chatting, great meeting you. and happy to be here. It was a great 2 days with OpenSpace. Met a ton of clients and was able to, show what we do, which is 360 documentation of the job site. Great for, where the theme of this, which is concrete. We can do things like, compare job site past to present and really see the progress side by side. Really cool to see for concrete, pre-pour, post-pour, things like that. And so we caught a lot of attention, a lot of people interested in.
Lots of people stopping by the booth for sure.
Yeah. Construction technologies kind of growing really quick. We're doing stuff with drones, with robots. And so
it's rapidly changing.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of traction just showing and demoing the product here.
Yeah, and I find it's really neat to have, this tech side. It's kind of an interesting enmeshment of different people in construction. You have the white collar to blue collar, and then just the rapid growth in technology to try and sell that to, let's face it, sometimes like the blue collar side can be a little bit stuck in their ways, maybe for lack of a better term, but just not willing to adopt new ideas. But knowing that you have a product that's going to help them so much, I think your colleague Thomas was talking about last night, doing whatever he has to do to kind of get that product in the hands of that drywall contractor, or that concrete contractor, electrical, because they don't know how much they need it. Can you speak to that about just like the target you're after, and sometimes just trying to sell or to get that new technology in the hands of people who need it, but they don't know they need it yet? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's a great question. And it's actually one of our core company values is, simplify everything. Keep it simple. And it's a great question in kind of mixing the white and the blue collar and how do we integrate that technology so that it sticks and so that, the users are engaged and getting the most value out of OpenSpace. And our tech on the back end is quite complex. So we use...
And that's, you're on the back end in that side of things more so than...
That's right. Yeah. I work with our existing clientele across Canada. So I help them, I train the teams and I help them really adopt OpenSpace and set the clients up for success. So keeping the tech simple, coming back to that, we're using machine learning, we're using AI, we're using computer vision. Our founders actually developed this tech out of MIT.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the back end is quite complex, but the cool thing about that is the UI. So what the users, what our clients are interacting with is really simple to navigate and use. And I think that's, why we've been successful in bridging that gap.
Awesome. MIT, wicked smart. All right. No, thanks for doing this, Jason. Pleasure chatting with you guys. It's been a pleasure being across the way here in our booth here, combined with the whole team from Procore, and it's been a fantastic couple days, and we'll definitely look to see OpenSpace at some more events later on this year from our team at Atlantic Construction Podcast. So thanks a lot and cheers.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Dan, for having me on.
Cheers. Welcome back to the Atlantic Construction Podcast here on site at the Canadian Concrete Expo. I'm here with Arabi Siva.
Arabi Siva, yes.
Can you say your last name for me, please?
Savanalingam.
Savanalingam.
You got it.
It's a decent try. And Arabi is the marketing lead for all of Canada with
Correct.
Procore.
Yes.
Thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with me, Arabi.
Yeah, happy to be here. It's my first podcast for construction.
I have a feeling that you and Kimberly both have been some very busy ladies.
We keep busy.
From the start of the new year here.
We keep busy,
Yeah. What's it mean to be at an event like this? So do you actually get some time personally to kind of breathe a bit when you're able to come down to site here?
Oh yeah, this is
I assume really rewarding for you.
Totally rewarding because we do all the work behind the scenes,
and
then to actually come here in person and connect with customers, just talk and not have to think about our day to day, but actually boots to the ground and see what how our work impacts the industry in person.
Take us through like the typical week for yourself. I'm assuming you're constantly traveling, communicating with the marketing team, delegating. Can you just take us through a little bit of if there is such a thing as a typical week for you?
I don't think any week is typical except meeting the team, with all of our cross-functional stakeholders. So whether that's marketing, product sales, customers, we we meet with everybody every week to connect on what our weekly priorities are and to get them done. And we obviously have like quarterly, yearly goals.
Yeah.
And across all of that, from a marketing perspective, we do events, we do educational webinars, content sessions, we create reports, research, we create campaigns, digital, we work with customers to create stories. I mean, there's a lot of different moving parts,
Absolutely.
but we want to bring it all and integrate them together so that there's a story and that we're telling the industry story right. We're telling our customers stories the right way.
What's the most satisfying part of your position with Procore for you personally?
It's really as simple as when customers walk by events like this, I'm like, we love Procore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That easy.
They talk about how much it changes their day to day.
Yeah.
Just being able to use it. So it's like the work that we do has impact.
Right. When they adopt your technology, you're helping them sleep better at night. I think it's the key.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with me.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
I'll see you. Bye.
Okay, welcome back to the Atlantic Construction Podcast. We're here on site at the Canadian Concrete Expo at the International Center here in Toronto, and I'm blessed with the presence of Omer Yunal from Urbacon. Thanks for taking a few minutes just to chat with us, Omer. Can we start just by explaining a little bit about what it is, your role at Urbacon and the service that you're providing to your clients?
Well, first of all, thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely.
I'm a business analyst at Urbacon. I've been there for over 5 years now. I guess the role kind of started with one thing, and you just start, you end up adding more and more and more.
Sure. A few different hats.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a few more, like 100. But I largely work with people, so it's like business processes, software, anything from onboarding, any new software, onboarding into the actual company itself.
Right.
Anything SOP related. Just kind of work with people. So I do work in the IT department, and there's definitely a huge part of that involves, your basic desktop support, a lot of turning it off and on against that sort of stuff. But my primary focus is just with people and how they interact with the business and the softwares that, drive all the construction, everything that we do.
Right. And I think it's more and more common, more and more well-known this day and age, with contemporary mindset. Like, you can't run these large construction, complex projects, these large volume companies as a contractor, as an engineer, as a consultant, without, some sort of software to tie everything together, to integrate different channels of your business.
Absolutely. And I'm laughing just because, we have tons of examples of that where, if you're doing a smaller job, maybe there's like 5 people on it and it's under $1 million. Maybe you'll get away with Excel and a spreadsheet. Yeah. But it's like really unrealistic to think, I'm going to build a $300 million building or whatever it is you're working on and not expect to use some kind of software. So for sure, the issue I find, well, not issue per se, but what I see a lot is I guess sort of like a generational gap from coming from, clipboards and I'm just telling you what to do. Yeah. The knowledge is all up in my head. Yeah. To, I got to sign into here now and I got to use this software and that links with this and just bringing a whole subset of people into sort of like this new world that they didn't care about or they had no interest in whatsoever. Yeah. And it's just, it's unique to see and it's interesting and you always hear new perspectives and figure things out along the way.
Yeah, what a daunting task to streamline that, eh? And I mean, as a 30,000 foot view of the construction industry, like so many different backgrounds coming together to accomplish goals. Like I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, your target market for your clients are contractors and subcontractors and, site supers and people like that. And you're providing this complex software to make their life easier, but you're talking with 2 different people here, 2 different types of people, different backgrounds, but to learn to kind of appreciate each other that, hey, I'm here to fill this void for you. You can fill that void for me. I need you to explain this side of it so you can explain that type of thing, right?
So when you mentioned, making your life easier, and that's truly my goal. It's like I want to make your job as easy as possible. So if it takes you an hour, let's try and make it so it takes 15 minutes and you do whatever you want with the 45, right? I don't give a crap. Yeah. But what I find is they see it as the opposite. It's like, no, this is making my life more difficult. And you got to, like you mentioned, find a way to sort of translate that to make them understand. It may be 30 minutes of work now, but you're saving hours down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of a piece of advice that I think my father told me this, and only just kind of old enough now to realize he said a lot of wise things. I probably should have listened to him more, but I
get that more and more as I age,
don't we all? So it makes me feel better about myself.
I think back like, shit, he was right.
He was right, yeah. He had some damn good things to say, but one was, we're different, but we need each other. And we're all different, but that's kind of what I'm taking away from kind of what you've just explained. And, any final comments on that? And it's been a pleasure to have you here just to chat for a few minutes.
No, I appreciate you having me. Nothing really. I mean, that's pretty much most of what I do. I enjoy doing it. It's fun.
And what's it mean for you to be at an event like this and for your company? Is it, you're kind of, we're all here as a kind of a milestone. Hey, it's a big event. We can kind of sit back and then say, we came this far so far this year. We're meeting people, sharing stories, networking. So what's it like for you to be here?
So far, it's been a pleasant experience. My first time coming here. It's just funny because there's all these big machines and all this new tech as far as like tools go. But then I'm seeing a lot more, which I don't imagine was there 20 years ago. There's a lot more software vendors, and it's like, well, I came to Concrete Expo. I'm expecting anything related to concrete and the work that's involved in the tools. But it's just cool to see how much of it, a large portion, is the software that's enabling you to do those things, and not
even at a Concrete Expo.
At a concrete, there's still software somehow just snuck into there.
Great.
But it's been great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. Welcome back, Atlantic Construction Podcast here on site at the Canadian Concrete Expo 2023 at the International Center here in Toronto. I'm joined by Cadman Turner, executive sales with Procore Technologies. Cadman's from Australia, and happy to have him here just to chat for a few minutes. Thanks for doing this, man.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Tell us a little bit about working at Procore, your position. A lot of the team is here today, being at an event like this. What's it like as a sales exec with Procore, and what are some of the challenges?
Yeah, so I work exclusively with the small to medium sized business.
Okay.
So in like the Western Ontario, some of the biggest issues that we do face there is the lack of technology that people use. So like one of our biggest competitors is pen and paper.
Yeah.
So like me as a sales rep, a lot of my job is focused on educating prospects and educating customers on that there is a real value here. And we save a lot of time, a lot of effort in money. So educating the customers on that, as well as, it's just like, because we are dealing with smaller businesses, budget. So like, we don't have a budget. Yeah, it's always an issue. So no, but it's definitely challenges, but there's also a lot of people out there. Like, there's nothing better when you get like a prospect on the line, they've got a bunch of software already. And it's like, yes, like that's half my job done. Yeah,
and it makes me think, like a lot of us, in the business where we're concerned about, the big clients, high volume stuff. But, we're talking about small to medium sized companies. So I'm assuming like these guys are taking on jobs, 5-10 million maybe in revenue, maybe 100 employees or less, 50 employees or less. But, like some of these are those targets that your software, implementing it, can make some of the biggest difference, right? I mean, the big companies that are doing complex stuff all the time, obviously they're going to be aware of Procore, and you're going to be competing with your competitors and other software providers. But like you said, you're competing with pen and paper, and a lot of these guys are so immersed in their business, they can't step away enough to have the headspace to see how much of an impact, how much of a difference it can make. And I know that's a daunting task, right, in sales, to try and sell something to someone they don't know they need it, but like 3 months from now, if they adopt it, they're going to come back to you and be like, man, I wish I did that 2 years ago.
What we're perfect for is like, there's two people that we're perfect for. We're perfect for the customers or the prospects that want to grow and expand, because like we're able to implement this, so you do have the ability to like keep track of your financials or like project management. But then on the other hand, like we're perfect as well for the customer that wants to like maximize what they have and like maximize their margins.
Absolutely.
To ensure that they're tracking their invoicing and they're getting paid on time. And all that sort of stuff. So we're perfect for both. But also getting in, like if you do want to grow, like getting into the business, like getting involved with Procore early, like when you are at like the 5-10 million mark or 20 million mark.
To have that foundation.
Yeah, because it's like what happens. So a lot of things, like there's tons of software out there, don't get me wrong, but it's like when you go with like a smaller size software, or like you got to think about like what happens once you start doing 30, 40 million, right?
Yeah.
Does that software keep up?
Right.
Where like the benefit of like us is like we work with some of the biggest builders in the world, and we also work with people doing $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's like you have that
all
ability
sizes.
To scale,
and
so that when that volume does come, you're able to handle it, and we're able to handle it, and you're able to grow and continue to work.
And you're avoiding a big transition into like a new form of software. You're going to train your employees. You got to learn this and that. And it's a big thing.
Like implementing software is not easy. Like it's not hard, I should say, but it's like it takes time and effort to implement software. Yeah. So it's like you got to imagine like you put in 2 years with another software, and then it's like, well, now it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So you got to go through it again.
Yeah.
Like I think the moral of the story is just buy Procore.
There you have it, folks. No, so, before we wrap up, tell us a little bit about, I think something that I've heard a lot. It's interesting to get some context on different people's backgrounds. Obviously, the team here in Toronto, very diverse, lots of different cultures working together. Just tell us a little bit about, some of the similarities between, being from Australia, kind of like the culture here in Canada. I've often heard people say, people are very energetic, and it's kind of the same mentality as Australians. Canada and Australia seems to be a lot of common ground there. Is that true in your experience?
Yeah, no, the personalities and cultures very similar.
Yeah.
There's no kangaroos here, but like where I live, I was living regionally, and like I would have like a mob of like 50 kangaroos every night,
Really?
like at my door.
What's that like?
It gets annoying, really. They're just like,
I'd like to experience it at least once.
yeah, they're
Sounds
just
fun.
everywhere. It's like they're attracted to your car for some reason. They're like deer,
Really?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We
like
got
the-
lots of deer out in the East Coast. So.
Yeah, so there is deer where I'm from, but like you got to go up to the mountains. Sort of.
Deer might be a little more graceful than those kangaroos. I'm not sure.
I think so. But like they're crazy, man. Like I've seen them jump like a 6-foot fence. Like
No way.
yeah, they're massive.
I feel like kangaroos are more dangerous than people give them credit
sure.
for. It.
Like, you don't want
They
to
can do some damage.
You don't want to
right?
get on a kangaroo's bad side.
Did you ever
Like,
get-
it jumps, sits on its
Did you ever get in
tail.
a scrap with a kangaroo?
No, I've never got to the scab.
You could take one.
I
bet.
think
You're a pretty good guy.
I would come off second
You'd
best. I
dummy
think.
them, man.
I would come off second best. No, but yeah, the people, the culture, everything's
Yeah.
very similar. Just less kangaroos.
Awesome, man.
And it's colder
Awesome.
here. It's
Great.
colder here.
You're here, folks. Hey, thanks, Kevin, for doing this, man.
No worries.
Pleasure talking with you.
No worries. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Awesome.
See you later.
Welcome back to the Atlantic Construction Podcast here on site at the Canadian Concrete Expo at the International Centre in Toronto. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Aaron Chan, the Customer Success Manager at Procore Technologies. Aaron, thanks for just taking a few minutes to sit and chat with us. We've had many members of the Procore team stop by and have a quick chat throughout the day. Just tell us a little bit about your role and what it means to you to be at an event like this with the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So my role within the Canadian organization, I take care of some of our enterprise customers on the East Coast. And so my main role is to ensure their success. It's in my title. I want to make sure that they're adopting Procore well, rolling it out smoothly, helping them overcome any obstacles that they may when it comes to Procore and their usage. And so making sure they're aware of all the new product updates. They're making good use of their investment.
Just for some context, so focusing a lot on the East Coast, these would be mostly general contractors, some subcontractors, different consultants.
Yeah, we have. So with my book of business, it's majority general contractors.
Okay.
I also have some specialty contractors under my belt as well, and then we have another colleague on my team, customer success. She takes care of our owner customers. So we're segmenting in Canada so that we can have better industry knowledge and serve our customers better.
Right, and I imagine there's a lot of longevity to that. Even if a general contractor has been using Procore for a long time, they're familiar with the software, but they're growing and there's new members of the team. You're constantly, troubleshooting, there's new updates, software updates, things like this. So
Yep.
I'm sure that there's many points of contact with these different GCs in the East Coast where you're, monthly touching base, bi-weekly, even weekly, just to, stay up to date, make sure everything's running smoothly, just a constant battle.
Yeah. Even working at Procore, it's so hard to keep up with all the updates our product team makes. It's constant every day. There's new updates. And so if it's overwhelming for me sometimes, I can imagine, there's a
Right.
lot for our customers. But that's all to say we're working hard on pushing out updates and continually improving the platform.
Awesome. And just to wrap up, to be at an event like this, the Canadian Concrete Expo, you're here with a lot of other colleagues and team members, coworkers. What's it mean to you to be at this and for Procore? It's a big networking event, a lot of potential clients, current clients. There's manufacturers, suppliers, contractors. What's it like for you to be able to kind of step back and just spend some time here with the team at an event like this?
Yeah, well, I just love meeting my customers face to face. It's so valuable to me, and just to see their excitement around Procore, it energizes me, and I hope we're helping them get excited about the platform too. So it's just great to be in person and meet customers and get all excited about Procore.
Awesome, amazing. Thanks for your time, Aaron, and just a pleasure to chat with you. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Daniel.
Okay, welcome back to the Atlantic Construction Podcast on site here at the Canadian Concrete Expo 2023 at the International Centre in Toronto. I'm here with Brianne Price, Brianne, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with us, talk to lots of members of the team today. Just tell us a little bit about your role with Procore and what it's like a day in the life, and what do you like most about your role?
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. Well, I've been at Procore for just over 2 years now. I was hired during the peak of the pandemic,
Wow.
December 2020. So it was about 9
Turbulent
months.
times.
Yeah, it was really sad. Sad and dark in the winter of that year. But at least I had my job at Procore. But yeah, it was about 9 months working remotely, fully remote, before I even met my coworkers.
Wow.
But even then, I knew it was a good decision to join the team. And my role kind of transitioned. I was marketing to all segments at Procore, so all verticals of GC subs and owners. And over time, over a couple months when I started, I've moved into the upmarket space. So I market to GCs, like some of the biggest builders in Canada, owners, private owners, owners, developers, and in the public sector space as well. So public sector project owners too.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, we're here on site at this at the Canadian Concrete Expo here the last couple of days here in Toronto, and as we immerse with your team here on site from the Toronto office, like so diverse, lots of different cultures, lots of different backgrounds. Talk a little bit about culture at Procore and what it is that you love most about the culture side of Procore.
This is a great question because we just had a happy hour last night with some of the execs visiting from the United States. Anthony Fratelli was in town. He's like the top sales guy on the Procore team. And even he said he could just feel the culture on the team and how much we all got along and really enjoy being there. And I think that was one of the decision makers for me when I was being interviewed by Procore was the culture. My current manager, RB, brought me on. We used to work together at a previous company. I had never heard of Procore, never worked in construction. I'm a marketer, that's it. And she's like, no, you really have to talk to the people at Procore and learn about it and learn about what they're doing for the industry and how important it is. And so once I spoke to everyone here, our VP of Canada and some of the salespeople, I really understood the mission and how important the software was. And just that they hire really good people, and everyone we work with in the industry, everyone here at Concrete Expo are just amazing people getting work done for the country and trying to improve Canada.
Wow. I mean, it's so great to hear that from you, and certainly being here with the team on site, you can feel just the atmosphere, the uplifting positivity, and the immense, professionalism, both at the same time. So it's great to be here. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to chat with us, Brianne,
No
and
problem.
enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome back to the Atlantic Construction Podcast here on site at the Canadian Concrete Expo 2023. We're at the International Center in Toronto. It's been an amazing couple of days. I'm here with Kimberly Corlett, Field Marketing Manager with Procore Technologies. It's been a pleasure, Kimberly, to be here with you and your team. Thanks for sitting down and chatting with us for a few minutes. Thanks for doing this.
No, thank you so much, and I'm glad you guys are out here.
Yeah, it's certainly a glimpse inside to see all the logistics that go into getting the team here, getting organized, a big event like this. So much opportunity to connect. Tell us a little bit about the last week or so, kind of leading up to the event, and then kind of what it means for you to have the team here at an event such as this.
Well, for Canadian Concrete Expo, we're actually the repeating title sponsor. We did pre-plan all the way back in September. And so if you're talking about the last week, it was just getting everything together, getting our vendors all organized, giving them that barista experience that we have today, but also keeping in touch with our partners, such as yourself. I'm so happy you guys are out here again today.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great experience to be here with the Procore team. And I mean, so many users of Procore here on site, and like a lot of our previous guests here have been talking about, there's manufacturers here, there's service providers, there's contractors, suppliers of materials, all, not just under concrete, but there's a lot of technology booths here as well. Maybe just talk a little bit about what that means for Procore. You see, even with the traditional forms of construction like concrete, technology is a big theme here, which means, it's a big theme in everything now in construction, what that means for Procore.
Yes, so digital transformation is definitely, something that's going to occur over the next few years. However, us being out here at Canadian Concrete Expo, we wanted to connect with the concrete industry, whether that's with material suppliers, but also the contractors themselves. So with Canadian Concrete Expo, this was a place to be. And we're really excited to just, again, repeat as a title sponsor here and showcase our technology, but also with OpenSpace, who joins us here today.
Yeah, we've had the pleasure of being here, obviously, with you and the Procore team and Thomas and Jason from OpenSpace. And yeah, just a lot happening here right in this one section. Kimberly, I know you take a lot of pride in what you do, and you know, it's difficult. You're constantly bringing people together, managing partners, managing, you know, different sponsorships, events, just constant logistics and organizing. But you're very passionate about what you do. We can sense that. Our team, Atlantic Construction Podcast Media, is just being a partner. Tell us, like, what do you cling to keep going when you know, high stress, have a lot of energy, you know, long days, and just keeps kind of compiling. Just tell us a little bit about you know, what keeps you you know, going with your passion when things are really busy.
Oh, that's a really good question. So I do come from the construction industry background, and I guess it's just that passion of what I had gone through being in the field, what it was like for those 8 years, and just seeing how much this tech can be used and utilized in the field. And I think what makes it easier when you have so much going on, handling field related events, industry partners, communicating with them, especially Atlantic Construction Podcast. You guys are so committed to uplifting the Atlantic, but also the entire Canadian community of construction. So it just makes it easier to work alongside with those passionate individuals as well too. So thank you so much, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks, Kimberly. Well, it certainly shows, you know, like, you know, you mentioned, it's really nice to get a glimpse inside of some people's journeys and in their past, and how they kind of arrived at the role they're at today, and where the soft skills and the hard skills came from. And, you know, coming from the industry, you can definitely see that in the way that you handle people and you're organizing things. That's what a lot of what construction is about. It's just getting things done, checking things off the list, and seeing the critical path, and then your passion to kind of give back from that group of people that you were part of before, knowing how much tech can help them. So it's just awesome to be here with your team and yourself. And thanks for taking a few minutes, and it's been a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And before you go, I do want to ask, why did you not smile at that
okay,
photo?
I have not lived this one down, and it's obviously because, you know, 9 o'clock, hadn't had a coffee yet, but as soon as I got an espresso and a coffee in, I was smiling from ear to ear for 48 hours after that. So
Okay.
that's my excuse, at least.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, welcome back to the Atlantic Construction Podcast here on site at the Canadian Concrete Expo 2023 at the International Centre in Toronto. So I have with me right now Thomas Del Arario.
You got to say it with a little.
Thomas Del Arario. Del Arario.
There you go.
Nice to be here with you, man. I know we hung out with you and Jay from OpenSpace last night for a
couple
steak
New York
dinner.
strips, medium rare.
Strips. What was the place called again? Texas Longhorn?
No, it wasn't Texas Longhorn. It wasn't Texas Roadhouse. It was
Lone Star. Texas Lone Star.
Some rip off of those larger brands, I would assume. But they cook up a mean steak. Mean steak with garlic there, for sure. Yeah, that'll play.
Yeah, we had it's been quite a couple of days here at this event. You just gave a conference, I think.
Sure has.
A couple hours ago. How'd that go?
It went pretty well. Met up with Tim Alsop.
Okay.
And as well as Omer of Urbacon.
Yes.
Kind of, they talked about a little bit of their usage. Talked a little about how it integrated within the Procore platform there. Gave a live demo, which is always nerve-wracking up on stage.
How'd it go? Did it work out?
Pretty smooth. Smooth, I thought.
Got to be happy with that, man.
Yeah. Hopefully get a few closed deals. And,
walk away with some sales.
There you go. That's
a couple days worthwhile.
That's the name of the game in the construction. Yeah, more steak dinners. That's essentially all we're trying to do is just take people out for steak dinners.
You have an interesting background, Thomas. You know, you spent a lot of time on the sites. Now you're in the tech side, but I think, you know, that's a neat journey, because you can see the value of the tech. You know what it's like to be in their shoes and how much, you know, value you can bring back. What's it like trying to sell something to some of the blue collar trades who don't know that they need it yet? How do you stay passionate when you just want to help them so bad, but sometimes you can't get through to them?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think it's my answer there is two-tiered. One is when you finally do break through that tough, grizzled exterior of those, you know, site supers, contractors.
Just a bunch of teddy bears.
They truly are. They truly are. Melt in your mouth like a nice piece of chocolate. But I think it's really just the fact that I've built a personal relationship with those guys, and when
you're
you
relatable to them as well.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
trust level's going to be more.
Yeah. I got yelled at them consistently.
Yeah, we were talking about that last
was
night
in
at
over
dinner.
my head. Was a horrible superintendent.
Yeah.
So I couldn't run my own job, but I understand the pain points of
Right.
building and construction, and I think that does help. And then actually building out those connections with some of the champions of the software, and just getting texts saying, "Hey, it's ended up saving me, maybe 3 or 4K on rework costs just
Sure.
from this one little issue alone."
Yeah.
It's little stuff like that, and they're like, "Hey, man, we're loving it, seamless." So.
Yeah, that's
kind of
great feedback to
motivates me.
get.
Yeah, it's nice because it's a product that I believe in.
Yeah.
And you can actually get the tangible ROI from it, which is
Yeah,
really
I mean,
nice.
you know the client, you know the target, you know the industry, and it's a product you believe in because it's going to help them. I mean, pretty good spot to be in as far as business development and sales goes.
Yeah, it was kind of a stroke of luck. I mean, like I said, I used it. We had a big water damage event in our in the last project I had. I mean, sheetrock completely all soaked. Had to blow out 4 floors of sheetrock, casework, flooring, the whole gambit. And they had me out there. I had to get everything reinstalled, track all the reinstallation. I was just taking a whole bunch of individual photos. So my main kind of corporate office said, "Hey, we have OpenSpace. Try this out." And of course, I didn't want to be the guy with the camera on the head. Got a few jokes, but I ended up using it, and then bam, it's getting brought up in the OACs. Bam, it's getting brought up in the PM
so
forum
how
meetings.
long ago was this? And here you are 5 years later.
This was it was right before the pandemic hit.
Okay, so just a few years ago.
Yeah. Relatively recently,
Yeah.
pretty big pivot. Coming from the industry, and I think the pandemic actually helped OpenSpace because when the sites were shut down, they had to know exactly where they were. And kind of getting that digital twin, a lot more people working remote. A lot of remote clients. So just having that access into the job
Probably the last
site.
few years been positive for a lot of tech within the construction industry as a essential service and that side of things. And well, thanks for taking the time, Thomas. Lastly, let's end on you're living in Boston. Tell us some of your favorite films that are based in Boston. We were talking about this at dinner
Favorite
last
films
night.
based in Boston. I mean, there's a few golden ponies, if you will, of that. Really anything with Mark Wahlberg. I mean, you got The Departed.
Damon.
Yep, Matt Damon. Good Will Hunting. How do you like them apples?
My boy's wicked smart.
Yep. 350 in late charges at the local library. Yeah, all that good stuff. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
And The Town.
Yeah,
We'll
of course. Yeah. Ben Affleck.
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
It's a great
All right.
one.
Thanks, Tom. Been a pleasure. And we hope to see you again on our Atlantic Construction podcast very soon.
I'm an avid follower as of 24 hours
Let's
ago,
go,
and I am locked and loaded
LFG.
for Atlantic Construction Podcast.
Cheers.
Let's make it happen. Clip that. Make that a clip.
Clip it. This episode is brought to you by Cook Insurance, your trusted insurance broker in Atlantic Canada for 50 years. Insurance is complex, and the Cook team focuses on delivering comprehensive solutions for your construction needs, including builder's risk, wrap-up liability, performance bonds, and project-specific construction. A Navicord partner since 2020, Cook is one of the largest construction brokers in Canada and offers national strength with a local touch. Whatever your insurance needs are, Cook has you covered. We would like to take this time to thank a longtime sponsor of our media platform, FCA Surety. The brokers at FCA Surety are experts in all surety bonding categories and provide unparalleled service during the bonding process.